Hello everyone, this is NetMaven. Today we'll talk about Cisco Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller for enhanced cost LAN deployment. In this lab, there's a data center has an existing Cisco Nexus Fabric is deployed in a three-tier classic LAN topology with Nexus 9000 switches managed just via CLI. As part of this transformation, the data center network fabrics is to implement Cisco Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller. We call it NDFC. The NDFC were used to take over management of existing the brownfield fabric. On my left side is brownfield fabric, as I will simplify the deployment of a new greenfield, which is used to expand capacity. On my right side is greenfield data center fab. So in this lab, I will show you how to create and import the complex existing brownfield, the enhanced custom LAN fabric, and to create and provision new greenfield enhanced custom LAN fabric. And we're going to make the VPCs, and the VRFs configuration for the greenfield also. And we're going to create a new external core fabric. We call it core fab. Then we're going to extend the VRFs to the external core fabric to ensure the interfabric for the external connectivity between the fabrics. So first, let's go to my switches. I'm going to verify a few things. We'll go to the aggregate switch. We're going to verify is show round interface port channel 1. I'm saying the port channel 1 to the access switch is configured, and we're allowing a few VLANs to the trunk. If I show around VPC, I'm going to see the details in the VPC configuration. So I have the peer link, the port channel 1, port channel 500 is the peer link, and VPC domain as shown here. If you show VPC, I'm seeing the port channel is up state to the access switches, and the port channel peer link is up between the aggregate switches. I'm seeing the peer is alive, peer just inform OK, the VPC is all working fine. I'm going to show IP interface brief VRF all. I'm saying here we create a few VRF. We have a default management and the pseudo cooperation VRF1, the VRF for non-prod, and VRF for prod, VRF for test. They all have this VLAN associated with them. VLAN 2300 is in the pseudo VRF1, 2301 is also in this VRF. We have following VRFs with valid VLANs 2302, 231 VLAN is the prod, 2303 is VRF test. Now to show IP route to VRF per pseudo core VRF1. I'm seeing I have direct connector routes and local routes. Our router for the VRF1 is here. Jump to my access switch. I'm seeing show around interface E15. I'm seeing the access port to the server 1 is assigned to 2300 VLAN, and go to my access 2, show run interface E15 is assigned to 2301 VLAN. So that's the VLAN to the switches, and if I navigate to my access switch 3, I'm seeing the is greenfield switch, and it's zero configuration for the uh, switch 3. So we're going to go to my server 1, and if I gonna ping the same VRF, it's the same in the same VRF, different VLAN server 2 IP address. So we're gonna say ifconfig is my server 1 IP 10.10.1.10, and I have server 2, the IP is 10.10.2.20. If I gonna to ping 10.10.2.20, that's gonna to be able to ping. And if I wanted to, like say server 3 IP is 10.10.3.30 because it has zero config. We're gonna 10.10.3.30. I'm not going to be able to reach there. So, and if I go ping 101.1 to simulate a external route, and it's not gonna be ping. What I'm gonna do next, we're gonna create the fabric. We're gonna import and deploy a brownfield fabric into the Nexus dashboard fabric controller. So we're going to import a brownfield fabric into the NDFC, and then we're going to verify the pin between the servers after fabric was imported. I want to confirm the fabric is working as expected. After logging, we're going to now go to fabric controller. In the fabric controller, I'm going to click LAN and the fabric. And here we're going to take action to create a fabric. In the fabric name, we're going to enter BF fab and choose fabric. In choose fabric, we're going to choose the enhanced classic LAN. Fabric is a fully automated 3-tier classic LAN deployment for Nexus 9000, 7000 switches. So this is what we want to choose. In the BGP AS field, we're going to pick the AS 65001, and we're going to click save. Before we click the save, I'm going to go to configuration backup and to click hourly backup. Then we're going to click save. Let's then double click the fabric name. We're going to take some actions to add switches. Under the add switch dialog, we're going to add in the seed IP. We're going to enter the IP of a switch. This switch is in the management VRF for all management interfaces. So username, we're going to tap in the username, password. We're going to toggle preserve config and discover switch. This is going to discover all the brownfield switches, access 1, access 2, aggregate 1, ag 2. These switches are being discovered, so we're going to add, click access 1, access 2, ag 1, ag 2. and we'll click add switches. So now the adding switches is in process. Now I'm seeing the imports complete, then we're gonna click close. So now we're gonna to check switches on this of the onboard switches. We're gonna check the switch tab and we'll go to the box next to Agri1, Agri2. We're gonna to take action to set a role as aggregation. Select. In the Fabric overview window, we'll click action and we'll click real calculation and deployment. This is gonna do a recalculating config on switch and deploy the config. The recalculating the config takes some time. The NDFC will read the configuration from switch and compare it to the Fabric configuration. I'm gonna pause my video here till it complete. So now it shows me configuration preview. In this lab, there's no configuration difference, or it might be minimal. The current switch's configuration matches the Fabric config on the controller, and the controller does not change the existing configuration parameters. So I can click the pending configuration and click the pending configuration. If it present it, then it will do the side-by-side comparison. It shows me no pending config. So let's close it. If a pending configuration is not present, then we're going to close, and the deploy out button will be inactive. If there's something pending configs, we'll just click the deploy. Or when deployment is complete, then we'll close, and we're seeing the switches list configuration status is all in synchronized, and the mode is normal. So during the brownfield Fabric configuration synchronization, the controller imports all existing configuration from switches, including VRFs, networks, VLANs, ports, and configuration, etc. Click network, and we're seeing the networks, the VLAN, and the VRF. We're seeing all the VRF status deployed. We're gonna choose Fabric overview and close the tab and go to topology. We're gonna pick configuration. Click the brownfield tab. Now I'm seeing the topology. You can click the links and switches on the topology to display more details. This is what I'm seeing. The cores configured to the aggregate switches, just like the topology my own topology is showing. And I'm seeing the VPCs. Let's get on to my server 1, and we're gonna to ping the server 2, 10.10.2.20. The ping is successful, meaning that the configuration was preserved and the Fabric is still operational after import to the controller. In the next lab, we're going to create and configure the greenfield Fabric GF fab. In this greenfield, we're going to navigate to the LAN, and in the Fabric, we're going to take action to create a new Fabric. The new Fabric name is going to be GF Fabric click choose fabric. We're gonna pick enhance the classic LAN and select. The routing protocol we find is eBGP and BGP AS fields. We're gonna enter 65002. And we're gonna navigate to enhance tab. We're gonna to scroll down till you see the greenfield cleanup option. We're gonna pick enable. To scroll back, to avoid overlapping with brownfield fabric, in the resources tab, and we're gonna to scroll down and change some fields. This gonna to change IP before let subnet IP range. We're gonna change from 33 to 34, 35, and in the IPv6 we have subnet IP range. We're gonna change it to 2001::10:33. We're gonna change it to 35. Okay, and we can check the configuration in other tab. I was like spanning tree is using IPVST plus and VPCs parameters. In the configuration backup tab, we're gonna pick Howdy Fabric Backup. After that, we're gonna click Save to create a greenfield fabric. Double click greenfield fabric, gonna take action to add switches. We're gonna enter the IP of greenfield fabric seed switch. It's gonna be a difference to 40201 and admin username password. Check preserved configuration should be toggled on. Click discover switches. We should be close it. I think I made a mistake. In the back to the greenfield fabric seed switch. And we'll uncheck preserve config because it's a greenfield. And I'll then click is discover switches. We're going to confirm the warning. All switch configuration and LAN management will be removed immediately after import. We want to proceed. Now we'll be discovering access 3, access 4, access 5, and access 3, access 4. So we're going to check them all. Except the cores, and I'm going to add a switch. We don't select the core switches and add the rest. When import completes, we're going to click close. Now it shows all the switches were imported, and click the switch tab, and we're going to check access 3 and access 4. I will take action to assign the new role. As right now are all access, we're going to click aggregation, select. We're going to click OK for recall click config warning display, and we're going to just to click access 3 and take action to use VPC pairing. Then we're going to pair with access 4 and I'll click save. It tells you to perform recalculate and deploy. Click OK. So this time I'm seeing the VCC pair. Agri3 is pairing with Agri4. Agri4 is pairing Agri3. Then I'm going to go to action and recalculate and deploy. So for the greenfield fabric, the pending configuration is larger because the controller will clean all existing switches configuration and apply new config according to the fabric settings on the controller. When the deployment completes, then we're going to close and all the status showing out of a sync. So close it. Before we close, we want to see the printing config. This is all the new for the greenfield configuration. For the access. And we're going to close, instead of close, we're going to click deploy all. And is putting the commands, the configurations line by line. And I'm seeing the progress right here. Deployment is in the process. Now I'm going to pause my video until deployment completes. So when the deployment completes, we're going to close it. Now I'm notice the switches list configuration status is in sync and the mode is normal. Let's close the tab. I'm going to go to topology. Now I'm seeing the brownfield and greenfield. Double click the greenfield tab. I'm seeing the topology. Let's go to configuration. I'm seeing the configuration on synchronized. They are all green. Go to command line. I'm going to check server 3. We're going to ping 10.10.3.1, the server 1 IP. The ping is not successful, meaning the next hop is not reachable or doesn't exist. So the lab will configure the fabric, access the interface via F subnets and for server 3. So next I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate the LAN and the fabric. In the fabric, I'm going to choose greenfield fab. And I'll check interfaces. Interface tab, we're going to find switch access switch 3 and interface 1/5, and we'll take action and add it. First, in the policy static interface trunk host, we're going to pick is interface access host, select. Of course, then it's going to tell me what VLAN is going to be put. Now is all we're going to config, all we're going to click save. And I would click deploy. Check what expected config is. We made interface 1/5 a switch access port, and we're gonna click deploy config. Now the command is putting to the switch 3. Close it. Return to greenfield fab. I'm gonna click VRFs. I want to take action to create a new VRF. In the VRF name field, I'm gonna name it pseudo call VRF1. double check the name. We're gonna leave other fields unchanged and then click create. Now check networks. We're gonna create a new network. Create network. The network name is gonna be pre-sudo local-nasri. Pick the VRF, we'll just create it, pre-sudo VRF1, and we're gonna pick the purple VLAN's name is 2300. The IP, we're gonna 10.10.3.1/24. For the interface, IPv4 address on active, we're gonna make it 10.10.3.2. For the standby, 10.10.3.3. After create network and we're gonna to make a create first. Now I'm seeing a new network name sudo net3, and we're gonna to multi-attach. I'm gonna check it and use multi-attach. We're gonna select the VPC. I'm gonna attach to a VPC. Click next. Now I'm seeing the switch AG3, AG4 is the VPC, and I'm gonna pick an interface. Interface, we're gonna pick is access switch 3. The port is 1/5. 1/5. So access port type and click save. I want to make next. So in here, in the multi-attached network, in the screen here, we're gonna click full switch deploy, and we're gonna click save. So the pending configurations are out of sync for switch 3, AG3, AG4, and we can see what's gonna be here. Now, soon will be some VPC port channel configure. That's for the port channels. We're gonna click deploy all. When the deployment is completed, we're gonna close it. And the network, we notice network status in the fabric overview. Status should be deployed. Now let's go to my command line and we're gonna ping the switch 1. It's not switch 1, it's the next hop. We're gonna ping 3, ping 4, ping 2. So we have gateway as an address of RP for server 3. Remember was greenfield. Now I'll put a config and assign a VLAN to Ethernet 1/5 is assigned to VLAN 2300. Show IP route. Show IPv4. Check AG3. Show VPC. VPC up running. Show CDP neighbor. Show run interface E13. Show run VPC. Where all VPC up and running. In the next part of the lab, we're going to create and configure external core fabric. The external fabric represents the connection from data center to external world. We say WAN or internet. In the previous lab, we'll create a fabric AS number of 600 65001 65002. And in the core fabric, we're gonna make it 65003. And we're gonna to extend the VRF from the brownfield fab to the DC, and we're gonna extend the greenfield fab to extend the DC. So let's first create our core fabric. Let's return to my controller and I'll click the LAN and gonna go to fabric. In the fabric, we're gonna create a new fabric. We call it core fab. Instead, we'll pick up the enhanced classic LAN. We're gonna pick external connectivity network. Click select. We're gonna make an external connectivity network for the AS number as we designed 65003. And we're gonna uncheck fabric monitor mode. Click save. In the configuration backup, we choose Huawei Fabric Backup. Click Save. Now we're going to add our switch. Click Action, Add switches. We'll pick up the C switch for the core fab. Username, password. Click Discover Switches. And now we find the core 1 and core 2. We're going to choose core 1 and core 2. And we're going to click Add switches. Now the controller is adding our switches, core 1 and core 2. After that, we're going to make core 1 and core 2 set for a new role as a core switch. We're just going to wait a few moments until adding switch is completed. Now the core switches are showing switch added. I'll close it. And the switches, we're going to pick our core switch and we're going to take action to set a role to be core routers. Click OK. And then we'll take action and recalculate and deploy. And now recalculation has some pending configurations for the BGPs. Okay, let's deploy wow. So we're gonna close this. I want to go to the LAN and the fabric. First should be the brownfield. Take recalculate and deploy. Let's see what the line is going to add. We're going to add the interface for the AG1 and AG2. Look at the ports 1/4 and 1/5. Take a look, 1/4 and 1/5. 4 and 5. It's all going to add a config to my aggregation switch and click deploy all. After that deployment is completed, then click close. Close this, and we'll check the greenfield fab. Recalculate and deploy. So just remember the core fab should be done the last. We're doing the greenfield fab. We have a few lines to configure on Agger 3 and Agger 4. So it's doing the ports 1/4, 1/5, 4, and 5. Close and check deploy all. Now the deployment completed. I'm close. I'm doing the last fab is our core fab for recalculate and deploy. I have 17 lines pending to be configured. The 17 lines for the interface connections to the greenfield fab and brownfield fab. Let's click deploy all. Now the 17 lines for the core routers have been deployed. Let's close it. Let's go back to the LAN fabric overview. If I go to topology, you'll see the fabs are all connected. The fabs are all connected. We're seeing the lines all in synchronized to the core fab from the brownfield fab and greenfield fab are all connected to the core. All right, then we're going to navigate to the LAN and go to the fabric. We're gonna double click the brownfield fab. We're going to extend the VRFs from brownfield fab to my core fab. I'm gonna add a new VRF. We're just gonna to do the poor VRF1. Double click it. Take action, edit. Exit it. I check the VRF1. And in the action, I'll make edit, owning the VRF1. Double click VRF and I'll go to VRF attachment. We're seeing attached to the VRF on the AG1 and AG2 switches. We're going to select both of them on AG1 and AG2, take action. To edit them. Then in the extent, we're going to pick out the VRF LAT. We're going to use VLAN number 2100, SVI IPv4 address 10.33.1.1/30, VPC 10.33.1.2, and I'm going to say attach all. Now you'll find it attached or showing attached for the switch ports, and we're going to click save. In the action, we're going to make deploy. The recalculating configure takes some time, and we're going to pick deploy. When the deployment completes, we're going to close the window. Now we complete the extending brownfield fab to the VRF core fab. In the next, we're going to close brownfield fab. I'm going to extend the greenfield fab VRF. Double click greenfield fab, go to VRF, click pseudo VRF1. Double click VRF attachment. Now I'm finding the AG3 and AG4. We're gonna click edit. We're gonna pick extended to be VRF Lite. We're gonna pick 1.35 or 101 and 1.35 or 1.2. Similar for the IPv6. In VLAN, we'll pick it at 2000. Similar, I'm gonna click go to attach wall and go to save it. Take action. We're going to deploy. Find the differences. It's all the extension to core fab deployment. Click deploy again, and it's deploying our configuration for extension fab. Now configuration compliance and completed. We'll close it. Close it. After VRF has been extended and is needed to recalculate and deploy the configuration on the core fab, so that controller can do necessary configuration on a core device. So we're going to go LAN and fabric. We're going to double click the fabric and to see the detail. In action, we're going to do recalculation and a deployment. I'm seeing a few lines pending configurations for the VRF extension. Close this. We should deploy all. After deployment complete, so we're going to close it. Take the topology, brownfield fab. Connection is established. Interface it all up. After core, we're seeing 4 connections to the aggregate 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, we're going to configure the core router with an external IP. We're going to create a loopback interface on the core 1 the IP represents the external source IP 1.1.1. So we're gonna go to the LAN and the fabric. We want to double click the core fab and action. We're gonna add, now gonna go to interfaces, the actions, create an interface. The interface type is going to be a loopback, and device is going to pick the core 1, loopback interface 1.1, and we're going to be the VRF, say this per pseudo core VRF1. Interface IP 1.1.1. What I'm going to do, we're going to click save, and we're going to deploy the configuration. So to view the configuration in the deployment configuration window, and we're going to click the pending configuration, just one line out here. Just create a rollback interface, add to the VRF, and we're going to enter the IP address, deploy configuration. This time I'm seeing a rollback 11, that's up, and then click close. Go to my core switch, and I'm seeing the rollback interface is created. So around BGP, we don't have the 101 advertised into our BGP to the greenfield fab and brownfield fab. So we're going to configure BGP advertisement of network 1.1.1/32 from the core router towards the fabrics. So in the core fabric page, we're going to go to policies. Then we're going to add a policy. We're going to pick core 1 because the loopback interface is in core 1. Next. And so we're going to select the template. The template I'm going to pick is the BGP WAF network. Select that. BGP number, as I know, core fab AS number is 65003. VF number is the per pseudo core VF1. The prefix I'm going to advertise is 32. 1.1.1/32. We're going to next save the configuration for the policy. Next, go back to the overview, take action, reconfigure and deploy. I'm seeing core 1 has 5 lines pending. It's for the network advancement, the external 1.1.1 route, and deploy all. I'm waiting for to deploy complete, then close it. Now go to core 1 and show BGP. I have network advertised. We then go to the server 1 and we want to ping 101.1 and it's working. Server 2, 101.1, it's already working. Server 3, gonna ping 101.1 and it's already pingable. So the last thing we're going to verify overall topology. So return to the controller and then we're going to topology. We'll click the core fab. And review the configuration. If you're seeing things like a one line, don't worry, just move it up. And you will see the core to the fabs. Open up the command line, go to server 3, and I want to ping the servers in the brownfield. And server 2. It's all working. And it means the connectivity between the fabs and two external networks is configured and it's operational. Go to my greenfield fab for the ARQ3 and show IP routes VRF, show IP routes VRF pseudo core VRF1. I'm seeing our routes from the BGP.